Hi, this is Jarrett.
And this is Eli.
And this is JetsChat. So hang tight here. So this is going to be our first of many podcasts. We used to be actually for about a year, we were Sports Jabber with the lefties, but we're switching it now just because we realized that basically we like the Jets and we just like talking about the Jets. And we held off on doing a whole bunch of podcasts for a little bit because we were just waiting for the season to kind of get going. And now that the season's going to start to go, we're going to start our podcast again. So basically the format's going to be, what we're going to do is we're going to talk maybe after the game for 5 to 10 minutes, kind of a little wrap up of the game. Either it'll be both of us or maybe just Eli or just me, one of us right after the game. And then on Thursday, we'll have a longer podcast, about 30 to 45 minutes, kind of talking a little bit more in depth, maybe about the game, what's going on, injuries, or anything that kind of interests us. So this is going to be the first podcast. This is starting on Thursday now, and we'll try to release it. I think we'll try to get out maybe like 6 in the morning. Is that when you want?
Yeah, 6 Eastern time.
So he'll put out 6 Eastern time. We'll put out the podcast. Obviously, the game's going to be within an hour or so after the game. So whenever the time that the game is played, either afternoon or evening game. So once again, this is, and if anybody wants to see any of our other past podcast, that would be the Sports Jabber with the lefties, but now we're JetsChat because we're more focused really basically just on the Jets. And once again, this is Jarrett.
And this is Eli.
So why don't you start? We're just going to start talking about stuff. You know, we have plenty that we can actually talk about. We're just going to kind of sum up some stuff, and I'll let you go first.
So we're going to start off this podcast by talking about our expectations for the New York Jets in the 2021 NFL season. We're just going to go through some players, some position groups, and just say our expectations. Let's start with the big one, the most interesting one. Second overall pick, BYU, quarterback, Zach Wilson. At 6'2", 214 pounds, Zach Wilson comes in to lead the Jets to a future Super Bowl, hopefully. No, not this year. I'm looking for Zach Wilson to throw for over 3,500 passing yards. I think.
What did you know who?
Darnold?
No, anybody can throw more than Darnold. Herbert, right? What's it?
Herbert. Do you want me to look up?
You know, because he was almost Rookie of the Year last year, right?
He won Rookie of the Year, and he was probably the best quarterback.
And how many yards did he pass? Did he do over 3,500?
Probably.
He did.
Hold on.
Look up him for a second. Sure. Anyway, so I'll talk while you're looking that up because 3,500. He could. I mean,
4,300.
Oh, okay, so maybe
3,500 is not that nuts.
Well, I think here's the thing. First of all, I've been watching him, and he is just impressive. I mean, I we'd all debate, me and him, but I think we got the best quarterback in the draft. I really do. I've been a bigger fan of the Jets for longer than you, obviously, because I'm older, and he's literally the best quarterback I think I've ever seen so far. Just for these pre-games, I'm not talking about. I mean, he could just be horrible afterward, but just the way he passes, to his composure, he just looks so calm. He's so accurate. He just looks much better than whatever we've ever had, and he just looked the most stable. But I mean, everybody's been talking about, Wilson so far. You know, you've had 10,000 podcasts recently about this for the past year and all that type of stuff. So I don't really want to go and spend another half an hour on him, but I think he's going to do really well. They're going to run a lot. So the question is I mean, I'd be happy. I guess I'd be happy if he has over 3,000 passing yards his rookie year.
I think 3,000 is a bit low. I would say 3,500 is a fair estimate.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because they're going to do a lot of running. They're going to do a lot of running. You know,
they're going to make his job easy.
On that, the way that offense style is, they're going to do that. So anyway, so that's him. So what do you want to go next?
Wait, no, we have to go through all of his stats, right? Next is touchdowns, right? I think a fair estimate would be like 25 passing touchdowns.
Sure.
To maybe like 11 interceptions. I do think it's going to take him some time to adjust to NFL cornerbacks, and I think he does. If you watch his BYU tape, he is a little bit risky with it, and I think he needs to learn what he can and can't get away with in the NFL. And I do think that's why the 11 picks.
Sure.
11 picks.
I don't know what that means. I have no idea. It's a guess. Sure.
That's the whole way we're doing our expectations.
Yeah, but that's expectation. He's going to do well. For a rookie, he's going to do well. He's going to be a rookie. I can make up numbers on all these things. You're going to go through all the how much sacks are they going to get? No,
I'm just going through some expectations for stats. But I do expect him. I know it's a high expectation, but I do think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think, okay, you have to look at it. Who's going to start? Him, Trevor, and Mac Jones, and I think Zach Wilson is the best quarterback from the draft.
Yeah, and I think Fields will be in game by game 4.
But his line is not that
good.
Lance is developmental. He
I don't think
needs.
so. Yeah.
If you watch his preseason tape, he could not.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
He's raw. He's not starting yet.
No, I agree. So okay, yeah. So yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, quarterbacks have the greatest chance of rookie of the year, right? I mean, they just do. So we'll see. Yeah, I've seen the other quarterbacks. I'm not impressed with anybody else. I'm biased because I'm a Jets fan. But anyway, so what else?
Mac Jones has been impressive. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Mac Jones has been impressive.
He's an Alabama quarterback. I don't know
you and Alabama quarterbacks. I'm not a big fan of Tua, but Mac Jones is
you get anybody in there. You get any quarterback in Alabama, they're going to do well.
Mac Jones.
I could get you in an Alpha and put you in Alabama, and you're going to do well. And you don't.
Okay. Not only was he teaching Cam Newton the playbook,
I don't want to hear.
He was also teaching his.
That's all baloney. It's all jibber jabber. That's all sound stuff. Whatever. They just want to. They put all that junk out there to make it look like why we chose this and how wonderful he is. I don't know what that means. Come on. Cam Newton's a good quarterback. I don't think he was teaching Cam Newton how to.
Not.
He wasn't teaching Cam Newton how to. I get their choice, but stop it. Anyway, so go ahead.
Anyways, let's move on to the next position group. Who Zach Wilson will be throwing to? The wide receivers. Who do you think will be the number one wide receiver in this offense?
I don't know. Corey Davis? What do you mean? That's easy.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore and Corey Davis are going to, I think, dominate. I think so. They're going to crush it.
Moore has to fight with Crowder for starts, though, and snaps.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, if Moore doesn't look good, we'll see. We really haven't got to see him. I mean, and as I said, they talk about how wonderful he is in preseason. I don't know what that means. Everybody just talk. Listen, every preseason, every team is going to the Super Bowl. Every team is wonderful, right? If you talk to every team, every player is amazing. Everybody's going to the Super Bowl. And then after like game 3 or 4, it gets into reality. So I don't know how good Moore is or not. I think he's going to be very good. I think he really is. But we have to see it on the field. If he is what they say, I definitely think Crowder's going to disappear very soon. I think he's just going to dominate. Seems like Zach Wilson, he likes to pick his favorites. So if he becomes his favorite, forget about it. Because obviously Corey Davis is his favorite. He's just going at him. He just looks for him. So
he might get the start week 1 because Crowder has COVID.
I hope so. I think let's get him out there. Let's see what he can do. I think we have obviously our wide receivers we have a really good wide receiver core. Not we, because I don't own the Jets. I'm just a fan. I would say we. Anyway, but it's a really good wide receiver core that they have. Really good. I mean, just offensively, I think we're obviously defensively we're much weaker than offensively. But let's go. I mean, wide receivers, I mean, they're all good. We'll see what happens. And a good quarterback, I always say, makes the wide receivers much better. So we got that. Offensive line, I think, is pretty good. He's doing it. It takes a couple of years to rebuild. I mean, McCagnon did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. He was the worst general manager. I'm telling you, I could have got somebody at like a food store and just told him to be a general manager. I mean, anybody could have been better than McCagnon. I don't know if he knows what football is. Maybe he should have been a general manager like hockey or something. He had no idea how to build a football team. So, I mean, he was just brutal, and he just couldn't get it. I don't know. That was a very painful 5 or 6 years with that guy.
He couldn't hit a barn 2 feet in front of him.
Oh my God. Anyway, so he destroyed. So it takes a while. So next year we'll get another. We'll probably draft a guard. We'll talk about that another time. But we're building up. So it's not going to be, the best offensive line, this year. But they're going in the right direction. So I think their offensive line is pretty good. Hopefully they should have enough time just to protect him so he's not getting killed out there. Unlike Lawrence, who was getting killed when we were watching the preseason games. They're not investing in their offensive line. They're going to hurt. I'm telling you. It's going to hurt him. But anyway, so I mean, offensively, tight end, obviously, right? We
have no one.
We have no one. But you know what? I mean, you're not going to get everybody to, like, as I said, our expectations are not high. I have higher expectations for how many they're going to win than you. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. We'll do our little prediction at the end. Yeah. So anyway, so we got that, right? So, I mean, that's really what we got, right? And then you got defense, right?
Yeah.
Cornerbacks, we have nobody.
Yeah, I mean, we cut Bless Austin, which makes no sense. Linebackers.
He wasn't that good.
He was the best we had. And
maybe we wanted to try the rookie. I mean, listen. I mean, they're so young. It's like, I think it's the youngest team. I don't know with all the changes, but we're like the youngest team in the NFL.
I know we're one of the youngest.
They're all
teams.
like rookies. It's like
12 rookie starters. I'm pretty sure. I heard that stat. Or important players that are going to receive many playing time.
So the backfield, like cornerbacks, we really don't got much going. They're all, who knows? They could be really good. They could be really bad. We don't know. They're not high draft picks, so they don't have that high pedigree. Right, so most likely...
Actually, a lot of them are high draft picks. I disagree with you. 3 of them are in basically first-round picks. Elijah Moore.
No, Elijah Moore. I'm talking about for cornerbacks.
Over corners. I think you said overall.
No. I'm saying
as a
cornerbacks.
team.
I'm saying
Okay.
cornerbacks. We're on the cornerbacks. So,
Yes.
I mean, offense,
Yeah.
right? We got the offensive line. We know that. We got the wide receivers. You got the tight end, right? You got the running back. We did discuss the running back, and I think he's going to be really good too. Carter,
I think he's a very good running back. I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to be a bell cow sort of running back. The Shanahan system is a very run by committee where they very split carries, right? Keep your legs fresh. Right, each running back will have like 8 carries in the game. And
yes and no. Here's how it works. If you're good, they'll play you. If you're not, they won't. If he dominates, okay, he'll get up most of the balls.
He will never be a bell cow. Even if he's really good, he'll never be a workhorse. He still has to split carries. Will he get majority of them?
Yeah.
It might be like a 10 to 6 ratio instead of
sure.
like
I mean,
8,
I got
8.
but let's see. It'll be interesting to see what he can do too. So. But I'm saying, so we have a lot. So offensively, I mean, the offense. I think the offense is going to be pretty good. I really do. I think the Shanahan I just like the way they do. Even in the preseasons, when you watch the 3 preseason games, they just, they looked good. They looked organized. They flowed. It looked like a San Francisco.
On the Giants game. The Giants game wasn't that great.
I think they were pretty good. I mean, I think when Wilson was out there and they were moving, they were just, he was moving. They were rolling out of the pocket. They were doing trick. They were just flowing. And that's the simple stuff. Don't forget, you don't do your fancy plays in preseason. So already they just looked much better than like Gase or something where you sit in the back pocket and he just passes. They looked good for what I've seen. Obviously, we don't know how that's going to translate. So in the regular season, but okay, so we got that. And defensively, right? So let's go on because is there anything else offensively you want to talk about?
I do want to talk about one thing.
Go ahead.
Mike LaFleur. I'm not going to claim to be some film junkie. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know all the sets.
But I don't know what you're looking at either.
But I was watching some film reviews about the offense and all this. And I will say, Mike LaFleur has called very good plays against coverages. It looks like he's teaching Zach Wilson well. I just want to talk about the touchdown to Tyler Kroft. It looks like he's wide open, but it's more impressive than it looks by Zach Wilson. The cover they ran, Green Bay ran a cover 3 type of defense.
Are you talking about now? You're switching. Are we talking about Mike LaFleur now, or are you?
Mike LaFleur. I'm talking about Mike LaFleur.
Oh, his play.
Because it was the play, and Zach Wilson read it well. It was like a beautiful combination of both.
Oh, okay.
So watch. I'll get to Mike LaFleur. So it was a cover 3, okay, and against this sort of coverage, the route that Tyler Kroft ran is not supposed to be open. It's supposed to go to the other receivers, which is what Mike LaFleur drawed out. Okay, but it was a good play call by Mike LaFleur, because he basically knew that the safety in the middle was a small safety against the tight end, so he was willing to call this play in the end zone. Okay, Zach Wilson placed this ball so perfectly. He quickly switched off his read. And his first and second read, I think it was his third read. He quickly switched off of it, broke the play, and put it in a place where he put it to the side where the tight ends could catch it.
I think that was more Zach Wilson than it was Mike LaFleur. I mean, he gave him that was the second he moved over, and what he wanted was
what makes a good offense is that there's multiple reads that can go to.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm getting to.
Yes,
there's a lot of like Adam Gase. If the first read is not there, there's no other route that's open. It's just literally.
Let's not talk about Adam Gase. We all know we did some podcast last year, and everybody who's going to turn on this who knows Jets, we've been through that. We're done with the torture. Okay, you can't even get a coaching job in high school. That's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, but
that's not get a coaching job in high school. He's an offensive coordinator.
I think he could if he really wanted to. I just don't think I don't think he wants to go to.
Think about that just for a second. To go from a coach of an NFL team and 2 NFL teams back to back, you're talking, and he stunk on both, to not even going to college, to coaching high school, and then offensive coordinator.
He's not.
What?
He's not.
I thought he went. Didn't he go to?
That was a rumor that was proven false.
Oh, so where'd he go? Where's he now?
He's nothing.
He's not even nothing. Maybe he's taking a year off. Maybe for the coaching world, it will benefit for him to just stop coaching. He could be like a ball boy or something. Maybe just
water boy.
Get water for the players. But anyway, so we digress once again. See, that's why I start getting on the Gase. Anyway, so no, I think Michael LaFleur is going to be real. I think he's going to be. I hope he's not too good. Then all of a sudden somebody picks him off, makes him a head coach every year or 2.
That's the one thing I'm nervous about.
That's why I'm nervous. He gets too good. But let's worry about that when that occurs. So anyway, we'll talk about the coaches in 1 second. You're going to go into coaches. Let's go into the defense, right? So we did the offense quickly here. Defense, cornerbacks, we got nobody of substance. I mean,
No one.
I mean, who do we got? Dunn didn't look good.
Hall.
He's our best.
But that's not saying he's not. He's like a quarterback 3 on most teams. I mean,
we got nobody. I mean, we got people. We have potential, right? We have a lot of
really like.
Yeah, we'll see.
The potential is average, and that's really.
And then we got safety.
We don't really have much safeties. We have Marcus May. May is it, and he's going to be gone next year, right? Yeah. Then we have Ashton Davis, who's injured now on injured reserve, and he's not good as is when he's healthy. And then, we have LaMarcus Joyner. He was good in the Rams a long time ago, and then he went to the Raiders, and he's been pretty bad with them. So I don't have high expectations for him. He's just like 29.
Yeah. No, we don't have much back. We don't got much. We go linebackers. We got C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley, I'm telling you.
We don't know
I watched him in preseason, and he didn't look. I mean, I hear all this stuff that's saying he looks so great. He didn't look that great. I mean, he was responsible for multiple penalties, some flags.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him. But so we don't know what's I mean, linebackers, we don't quite. I mean, really, defensive tackles. I mean, we don't.
I think our defensive tackle position might be the best defensive tackle group in the entire NFL. You have Quinnen Williams, who I think is honestly the 3rd best defensive tackle in the NFL, behind only Aaron Donald and Chris Jones. Actually, I think DeForest Buckner might be up there if you can consider him. But I digress. And then Foley Fatukasi, one of the best run-stopping defensive tackles in the NFL.
Yeah.
Then I think John Franklin Myers can play some defensive tackle. He's an edge, but it's a 3-4 edge. It's also kind of defensive tackle, and he's pretty good. Also, Sheldon Rankins from the Saints, former 13th overall pick. When he's been healthy, he's looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can stay healthy. Our defensive tackle group is a very deep position.
Well, that's McCagnon and everybody. They kind of invested in it. That's the best that we have. Yeah.
Offensive line? Nope. Defensive tackle? 3 of them.
Yeah. So that's that. And then we got Coach Salah. We'll see. I think he's going to be a very good coach. I think everybody thinks he's going to be a very good coach, but until we go through the season, we have no idea. Mike LaFleur, right? We don't know what he's going to be. We think he's going to be a good offensive coordinator, defensive. We have some good coaches. I think they're all going to be pretty good. But we have to see what the season says. So obviously, as Jets, we get very excited. And then I always play you that. Always my favorite one, the Stewie and the Mets. Remember that one, the little cartoon where he goes to the opening game. Everybody knows this opening game of the Mets. And Family Guy. And all of a sudden, it's like, was it a strikeout or something? Was it like a?
You don't even see it.
And then goes season over. It was funny after like one pitch. So you never know with the Jets. But so what do you think? So we talked about this. I mean, I don't really want to go too crazy with all this because everybody's here at 10,000 podcasts on this, and we could sit here for hours talking about all this. I'm just kind of warming us up just for the season. We'll get more into each game. But how many do you think? This is the most important. How many do you think they're going to win?
Oh,
I mean, this is interesting.
Realistically, or
what do you? Yeah, like if you're betting on it, how many games do you think they're going to win?
I'd have to look at the schedule to be exact because it definitely does matter in matchup. How about you want to start and I'll look at the schedule for a minute just to look at my wins.
Yes, because I'm what we call a dreamer. Okay,
I'm not.
I feel they can win 8 to 10 games.
No.
Well, here's the thing, and so the one thing that kind of I get a little nervous about, we have a lot of rookies, and so that could be a problem. But the thing is with football is, I mean, people always make like there's like a progression, like if you win, which I don't really understand because this never happens in football. People always think like it's steps, like okay, so if you win 2 games last year, now they can win 4 or 5 games this year, and then next year 7. That's not how it works in football. You could be horrible one year, and you could be a Super Bowl champion the next year. It's extreme with football. It's momentum. It's changes. Don't forget now they have a brand new coach, right? They have brand new coaches, a brand new quarterback, and the most important thing to me when you win the NFL, you need 2 things. You need a coach and a quarterback. And when we were 2-14, we had a completely different coach and we had a completely different quarterback. And if Wilson is what I think he's going to be, and if Salah is what everybody thinks he's going to be, that can change the narrative instantly. Instantly can change the narrative. And I think they can easily. Do I think they're going to go to the playoffs? Probably not. They're not winning the Super Bowl. We all know that. I mean, I'm not getting silly, but I could see them winning 8 games. I could see them winning 8. You're talking that's actually below 500, right? Because there's 17 games, so it'd be 8 and 9. So I think they could hit maybe 500 or just slightly below that. I don't see why not. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I really do. And I don't think that's too far out. But I get how everybody's like 2 games, so no, they can only win 5 games.
Okay. I think 8 wins is on the high end. Okay. I think that's if really everything goes right. That's a very optimistic perspective. Okay.
Well, as a Jets fan, damn it, that's all I got. That's all I got.
So
I'm not going in. I don't care. I'm not going in as a fan, assuming they're going to be 5 and 12. I don't care. Then I'm not. If I think they're going 5 and 12, that's fine. I'm a damn fan. That's why I'm doing this podcast. And I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying playoffs. But if they can't, I mean, they got to go somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, if you're only winning 5 games,
listen, I have the schedule pulled up, and I'm going to go through the teams I think they can beat. I think they can beat Carolina. I think that's a winnable game. I think they can beat Denver. I think that's definitely a winnable game. Atlanta and London.
Who's Denver's quarterback now? Didn't they
Bridgewater.
Oh, okay.
He's very mediocre. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we could beat them.
Sure.
And then after, I think we can beat Cincinnati. I love Burrow. I just don't like.
Who else we got? Just go through them.
Okay. Houston. I think at Houston. I think that's like our easiest win of this entire season.
Yeah.
Sorry, Houston fans. Then Philadelphia. I think that's a win at home. Then we have Jacksonville at home. So that's 7.
That's already 7. I mean,
I think around 7's fair. I think around 6 to 7 because we're gonna lose. We're not gonna win all those games. We could win a different one game. I think 6 to 7 wins is a fair prediction. I don't think it's super optimistic. I think when people say 5 and 12, I think that's a little bit negative.
Well, I hate all these. What drives me crazy, I hate all these, like not announcers. What are they? The reporters. What do we call
like a
these people?
Stephen A. Smith type person, like
all
a
these
journalist.
Journalists, these sports guys. Because what drives me crazy is I hate comparing now to past, which has nothing to do with now, and it drives me crazy. It's because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Most of these sportscasters don't know anything about the Jets, right? They know a little bit about each team, and they regurgitate the same stuff that their neighbor did to keep on hearing the same stuff. You can't compare a team in the past. They have a new general manager. Things have been changing. They have a new coach and a new quarterback and everything. You can't say, well, in the past, blah, 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 blah. That past is different. It's a different general manager. It's a different coach. You cannot compare. The only thing you can compare is the outfits are the same, right? Jets, they're green. I can tell you that they'll have the same football jerseys this year that they're going to have last year. That's what I can tell you. But you cannot, I mean, if they had the same coach and the same quarterback and they tweaked a couple of little players, then fine. I understand that. But everything's completely different. And all these sportscasters say the same thing. Well, okay, they're rated all the way down there. A lot of sportscasters really don't like Wilson either. He seems to get the rough end of the stick for some reason. But,
It's dumb. But
they'll say the same thing.
I'm
sorry, that was a little rant because it just drives me crazy.
You know what else drives me crazy? There was this one instance. Stephen A. Smith basically said that he thinks Zach Wilson, he doesn't have his situation is bad, which I disagree with.
Yeah, why is the situation bad?
Hold on. And he said, I quote, that he has no names around his entire team. And then he went on to list some of our third string players. He said Michael P. Ryan, Denzel Mims.
Most sportscasters are just not intelligent. They're just not, because they don't know what they're talking about. So because they're completely different, okay? And they say that all the time, and they're building their offensive line, they're doing all the right things. Are you thinking they're going to be a Super Bowl team? But to say that, because the Jets have not went to the playoffs in what, 10, 12, 13, I don't know how many years.
It's been a 10-year drought.
Yes, but they're different now, okay? So you cannot compare. I mean, there have been multiple different coaches. So to make it look like, they're a horrible organization, whatever. It's just lazy. It's just lazy reporting. It's not knowing the team and not knowing the changes, and that just drives me, crazy. But hopefully, people are going to start listening to us, or Jets fans who have a little bit more knowledge on the team. Just like I wouldn't talk about like Jacksonville Jaguars because I don't know enough about them. I get they have to kind of talk about a little bit about each team, but they don't. I feel like they're just lazy. They don't do the research. Some of them do, but most of them.
And by the way, if you are watching this and you disagree with anything we're saying or you agree with us, go ahead, tell us. Write it in the comments down below. We would love to engage in a conversation with you down there. Like if you feel differently about we just went through the schedule. If you feel differently, you think they're going to win a game that I said they wouldn't, or vice versa, write it down below. I'll reply almost immediately.
Yeah.
You know.
Just getting my rants out. We haven't did a podcast in quite a while, and I've been listening to all this stuff about the Jets and the sportscasters and everybody just predicting like, oh, they're going to win. I guess it's just very frustrating for me as a Jets fan.
The last one we released was Zach Wilson versus Justin Fields before the draft.
But if you look, and here's my thing, and here's why I tell you why. Number one, I'm telling you, Wilson's going to be really good in it. I'm going to, obviously, we're done with this rants, but the two people, right? Tony Romo, who knows a lot, and he's a quarterback, and you know who? What's his name?
Chris Sims.
Both are quarterbacks, okay? And they know what they're actually talking about because they lived being a quarterback their entire life. And when they look at him and they say this guy's most likely going to be the best quarterback, that's the people who you should listen to, not the sportscaster who doesn't know who half of them never played football. I mean, you wouldn't listen to me. I mean, I don't play football, so you wouldn't listen to me and say, I don't use me as a reference for if a player is going to be good or not because I don't know. So, and a lot of these sportscasters, even if they were retired players, they don't know the quarterback positioning. So when these two who have been, Sims has been amazingly accurate for the past 5 to 10 years, just amazingly accurate. Literally, he says you're going to be good. The quarterbacks, you got to trust him. And Tony Romo, who's a very, very intelligent quarterback, and he knows football. You could just see when he does his stuff. They both say it. So that to me is much more.
Tony Romo is known. This is the reason he is the highest paid analyst in all of sports, making $18 million a year, is because he is right 9 out of 10 times. When he's calling plays, when he's in the booth, you hear him. He'll call the play before it happens. Like he just knows what it is. And then Chris Sims. Let's just take a look at Chris Sims' former quarterback rankings. Which, by the way, in 2021, Zach Wilson was first ahead of Trevor. In 2020, he had Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, and Tua last. Listen, besides Burrow and Herbert, but listen, Burrow.
But who did he have first? Who did he have first?
Burrow,
who ended up before his injury was looking amazing.
And then Herbert. Most people said Tua's much better than Herbert.
Yeah,
and he put Tua below Love and Herbert. And listen, right now, Love you can't say anything.
I'm saying just go to the top 2 or 3. You don't have to go down the whole thing. Look at every single one they picked number 1, 2.
Yeah, and then 2019 he had Kyler Murray, then Drew Lock over Dwayne Haskins, which was uncommon, right? A lot of people said Dwayne Haskins was 2. Lock. People thought Lock was worse, but in the second round, he also had Daniel Jones really low. Like a lot of quarterbacks had Daniel Jones, and look at him. He's a turnover machine. Yeah, he's led the league.
And he keep on scrolling down.
No, up. And then in 2018, he had Lamar Jackson first. All these 5 were first-round picks. I'll go through it. Lamar Jackson first, and Josh Allen second, which was strange. Baker third, and Darnold fourth, and Rosen fifth. Most people had Darnold and Rosen on top, then Mayfield, and then Allen and Lamar at the bottom. And it turned out like exactly Chris Sims said. You can argue Josh Allen, Lamar. And then in 2017, he also had Trubisky low and Mahomes and Watson ahead of him, which is also not a common take, which also turned out to be correct. So, I mean, his record
is impressive.
Very impressive.
When he's the only one I listened to before the draft of quarterback ranking. When he said Wilson is by far the best, I said, I want Wilson. Because the guy is just accurate. He knows he's not just looking. He's not these guys who spend like 10 minutes on each player and then they always have these stuff. He actually, he's a quarterback. He's looking at the quarterback from the quarterback's mind and the position and how they do stuff. And he just has a lot more intelligence in that just because that's what he did. I mean, his father was a very good quarterback. I remember him. So he basically ate and breathed and drank quarterback stuff his whole life. So he knows.
Because I'm going to be honest, before the draft, I had Fields ahead of. I wanted Fields more than Wilson. I was not that high in Wilson, but Chris Sims changed my mind. I was listening to what he said and all this stuff. He just knows what he's talking about, and you could just hear what he's saying, and you just know he's correct.
Anyway, so is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think that'll wrap it up for today. This Sunday, after the Carolina game, we're going to post a 5 to 10 minute quick video after it. So look for that out. And then next Thursday at 6 in the morning, we are going to release our second podcast. So just remember, every Sunday after the game, 5 to 10 minute quick reaction. And then every Thursday at 6 a.m. Eastern time, you will get a full podcast.
So this is Jared.
And this is Eli.
And this is JetsChat. Come join us twice a week.